Bidcorp was split off from Bidvest in May of 2016. That was just the other month. It's headquartered in Australia, but listed here on the JSE, and it's a globally diversified food services group. The executive chairman is none other than Brian Joffe.
Exactly. Bernard Berson, who's the CEO, a 50-year-old South African who's worked around the world, is actually based in Australia, but I'm not quite sure where its headquarters are. I guess you could say it's one of those companies that has its headquarters in an aeroplane.
Market cap 85.2 billion rand, a PE of 24.1 and a dividend yield of 0.9%. Which side of the equation were you in the split?
Well, I mean, there was a lot of diversion in the share prices and the expected share prices. I think this is clearly where the excitement lay. I mean, here you've got a global food services business, Rand Hedge, grew aggressively through acquisition, has now become a standalone entity. But as a result of all of that, the rating on the unbundling was very high. So, and what happened was the other side, the traditional Bidvest business, actually got a very low rating. So we, as value guys, went after the value, and you've seen the Bidcorp move a bit sideways since the unbundling.
Now, we made the alternate decision.
Yes.
We went after Bidcorp
so we
rather
rode it
than
up
Bidvest.
and we got both. Then we did a switch after, and I think we sold the Bidvest much too early, but we're happy holders of the Bidcorp. That's the
now
bit
we've got
that
a
we wanted to be.
3-month graph on Bidcorp.
Yeah, which looks a bit wild, and that's because it has bounced around between a high of almost 290, and it's currently, I think, at about 255, 260.
So there's the sideways movement that you were talking about.
I mean, the Rand has moved a lot over that period as well, so it is very much a Rand head, so it will move with counter to the Rand.
Have you changed your stance? Sorry, Paul, have you changed your stance now?
Well,
Would
it
you
has
go into
moderated
Bidcorp now?
in terms of valuation, I guess, and we've had that the recent Rand devaluation. Their results also came out, so you could get a better sense of sort of the trajectory. We like it. I think there's a lot of possibility for margin improvement here. They're also a lot more globally diversified. Asia, Australia, Europe, the UK, Middle East. So you're getting a broad exposure, not to one particular region.
Paul?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. You know, often when they have these splits, we've talked about it often before in hot stocks, everybody goes haywire and you can't work out like what the sustainable level of earnings are. So it could be too high, too low. The institutional market that follow these stocks can't get a prior year to compare. And the results themselves look all complicated because of these non-comparable reporting periods. I think it's going to do fine. Coming back to the actual business itself, the turnover in Europe is quite high, but the profits are not great.
Yes.
The profitable business is Asia and Australia, and then South Africa is quite small. So I guess the question is, what do you think Brian and Bernard are going to do with this business? Are they going to grow in some parts? Are they going to sell themselves to Cisco? Do they see themselves going alone? What's your gut feel?
So I guess on that latter point, it is an underpin to the business. I think, as you see, it's very attractive to a large US player to get global exposure. So that remains an underpin. We saw what the team did in the traditional Bidvest businesses when they acquired them, consolidated, fixed them up, reduced expensive, increased return on capital and margins. So
Are you saying they're going to dress this one up for sale?
No, I think it's an underpin to the business. I think they are happy to row their own boat here. They now have the ability to raise capital on a very good rating in terms of this business. If a very strong offer comes along, I think they would consider it.
But we're not holding it for potential corporate action.
Not really.
You just believe in the long-term story.
It's nice to know that there are other players that want the external exposure and the European exposure. So that's an interesting little back thought. But we like it on its own merits.
Hot or not?
Definitely hot for me.
Right?
I'm going to say hot on this one.